Okay, hey everybody. Welcome back. Eric Worre here again, and I hope you're getting good value. We've been going for a little more than 2 hours, and we have 6 more hours of content to go through, and we have a lineup here that is beyond belief. What I want to talk to you about now is a little bit about your brand. This is the only time when I'm going to talk to you for an extended period of time other than asking these people questions. Talk about your brand. Talk about how to grow a bigger audience. I'll give you some numbers as to what's happened with me over the last 9 years. We have about 1.6 million followers on Facebook inside of Network Marketing Pro, 1.6 million. I have, I think, around 120,000 followers on my personal page, in addition to my friend group. 120,000 people follow that. I don't know all my numbers, but I have 180,000, I think, on Instagram. Couple 100,000 on YouTube subscribers. So it's in a lot of direction. It's a big community, big audience. And over the course of that period of time, I want to share with you how we grew that audience and how you can grow your audience and your influence. I'm going to tell you the Network Marketing Pro story of how we did that and why we did it. And then I'm going to transfer it to what every single one of you can do. Because every single one of you have the ability to build a unique and exciting following independent of your network marketing business, okay? In addition to your network marketing business, you can have a following, and I can show you how to do that based upon the case study of what I've learned over the last 9 years. This started for me, my social media journey started on MySpace. When you could have your own, remember? Come on, any of you had MySpace?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you had your theme song.
Yeah, right.
You know, when people came to your page, they listened to your music that you wanted them to listen to. Boy, did they screw up. Oh my God. Think about where MySpace was and where they could have been. And poor Tom. Tom, everybody was friends with Tom. Where is Tom today?
He's doing awesome.
Is he enjoying a nice life?
Yeah, he sold out and he made a lot.
Sold out, made a lot of money? All right. Well, anyway, MySpace was where I started. And then I saw this Facebook thing. And when I first joined Facebook, I'm 54 years old. So when I first joined Facebook, which was, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, 11 years ago, it was very early. And my teenage children were mortified that I was to come onto this platform because it started with college students and I didn't get involved then. And then it expanded to high school and other people started to connecting with it. So I just said, well, I'm getting on this thing because this looks amazing. And they were like, this is creepy. Old people like you should not be on this. This is for us. We feel like you're spying on us. You're following us and our friends around. You're watching all of our photos. Stop liking my photos. It's really creepy that my dad likes my photos. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, stop it. But I'm like, no, I see something here. And I started asking questions in late 2008. And trying to find out who was really great at this. And I ended up connecting with Gary Vaynerchuk. Many of you know Gary V. Back then, he was just doing a wine vlog called Wine Library. And it was a video blog every day that he was posting up onto a platform called Vidler and then promoting on that platform. And what he was doing was tasting wines. His family had a wine store. He was a young guy from New Jersey, big Jets fan, tasting wines, and he had huge viewership. This was back before any of the algorithms were throttling anything. He'd get like 80,000 views a day of his videos, and people were just freaking out over this stuff. He'd send out an email, and everybody would watch, and it was amazing, and he'd really kind of figured it out. And he was like on Ellen, and not Ellen, but back then he was on Conan. He went on Conan O'Brien and he did a little thing, and then he was written up in the Wall Street Journal. And I was like, well, so I called up Gary and I said, Gary, I want to come out to New Jersey and pay you for a little consulting. I ended up paying him $10,000 for 2 hours of his time in February of 2009. And I said, tell me what you're doing for the wine community, because I think I'd like to do this for the network marketing community. And I will tell you my motivations. I'm a huge fan of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was a mentor from afar when I was growing up, and he became a friend, and he had a huge impact on my life. And I started to imagine, as technology was evolving and flip cams were coming out, and the ability, video streaming was still pretty hinky, but it was just now starting to people started to have enough bandwidth to buffer long enough to be able to watch a video. So I wondered in my mind, what would have happened if Jim Rohn had a flip cam in his pocket? And for the last 40 years of his life, he started filming his adventures. And instead of him telling me the story of flying on the Concorde, there was a video with him on the Concorde. And there was a video of him meeting Pavarotti. And there's a video of him doing these different adventures that he did in his life that were a big part of my life. I said, wow, that was cool. And somebody at that point, I was 45 years old at that time, somebody told me that Jim Rohn was virtually unknown at age 50. Virtually no one in the world knew who he was at age 50. And I went, wow, okay, I'm 45. What if I start now? Jim's towards the end of his life. I'm stepping into another gear of my life. What if I just start giving back to my community and I'll put a camera in my pocket? So that was my motivation for it, is to give back a little bit. And also on the little side note is to create a video diary of my life that my kids and grandkids would be able to go watch if they wanted to, sometime 100 years from now. Because it would be cool if I could go back and look at my great-great-grandfather's life on video. That would be really cool. That doesn't exist, but I could leave that for my kids and grandkids. So that was in February, and I sat down with Gary. I got this little playbook, and there's some stuff he suggested I do that I decided not to do. Other things I kind of reverse engineered, figured out what I wanted to do, and I just decided for me to start, I just need to start. And I started 1 month later. March 11th was my birthday, so I said, okay, I'm going to start on my birthday. So I built up to it, and I didn't know how to do a single thing. I had to have somebody teach me how to post something on WordPress, which was literally / this and press this command and everything, a full page of stuff. I got all this fancy camera equipment that I never did figure out. I never used. I ended up getting a flip camera. And the flip camera was amazing because you could do it and then you could plug the flip camera right into your computer and you could download the video. It was awesome. Before what you could do with your phone directly to the world now. So I started with a flip camera and I started with doing this thing. If you ever go back to the very first video of Network Marketing Pro, it's just like me. You know, here's what I want to do. I want to just take you with me and I want to talk to you about network marketing. So the secret sauce, I want to give you the secret sauce for me that worked really, really well. One, I was going to be truthful with the network marketing space in the most positive way possible. I was going to tell people my opinions without bashing anybody else. And that leads me to number two, part of my brand. One is I'm a network marketing fanatic. People can argue all day long if they want to, but they won't win a debate with me. Network marketing isn't perfect, but it's better. That's been from day one. Network marketing is my brand, and it's a better way. It's a better way for a person to flex their entrepreneurial muscle than anything else. So part of the secret sauce behind that, though, people kind of knew me, the Network Marketing Pro, Go Pro, we have a better way. It's not perfect, it's just better. That's kind of the general brand, right? But behind that was validation. If I could sum it up in any one word, I was validating this community every day in what I said. I was validating their decision to join this profession. I was validating their decision to face their fears. I was validating the fact that they had the courage to be able to go out and do this, that even if people didn't understand what they were doing, that I believed in them. I was transferring my belief. I was transferring my sincerity. I wanted to be the wind at their back. I wanted to be somebody who was encouraging them, bringing them good ideas, good strategies, but I wanted them to feel what was in my heart is that they had a friend in me in network marketing. If they were in network marketing, I was automatically a fan. And then I was going to spend all of my time validating, educating, inspiring, uplifting, encouraging. That I wasn't going to be preaching at them or telling them, that I was so cool. I was going to be talking about them. So I started on this journey of doing that. And I will tell you at the beginning, you guys remember racing to see who could get to 5,000 friends the fastest? Remember that? I did that as fast as I could. I think I have like 2,000 friends now. But I was racing to get to 5,000. I was friending anybody. If you're in network marketing, we're friends. If you were connected, and back then I was building in the field. So, I filled it with my team. I filled it with everybody and anybody. And Facebook wasn't even recommending friends back then. I was just finding them everywhere. I was going finding every group there was. I was joining every group. I was signing up. Anybody. If you were in network marketing, I wanted us to be connected. Okay. So that was I was doing that constantly. I was going into every network marketing group and I was saying, hey, great job, attaboy, keep providing value, keep bringing it. We're going to do the same thing over here. Let's raise the tide together. So I was connecting with all those people. Some of those started sharing, some of those started connecting. I made a huge mistake early on, which is I followed Gary Vee's advice and I posted all my videos on Vidler, which was a non-searchable platform. You could brand it, but it was unsearchable. It was such a bad idea. If I had all my stuff on YouTube from day one, it would have been a game changer, but you live and you learn. I connected with everybody. I was talking to people all the time. And in everything I was doing, whether it was the videos that I put out or the interactions that I was engaged in privately, or it was, connecting with people face to face, I was doing the same thing. I was encouraging, validating, inspiring, motivating, hopefully educating a little bit, giving people hope. So that was what it was all about, and it stayed there. And for my first year, I made about 200 videos in that first year. There was nothing to join. There was no list to join. There was no products to buy, nothing. It was just, hey, here's an idea today. And I'm at this place in the world, and I was in this place in the world, and I think you might find it interesting, and here's an idea for the day. They're short, they're sweet. Some of them were a little bit longer, but most of them were pretty short and to the point. And people got value, and they started sharing. And more than anything else, people found somebody out there in the world that believed in them. They started sharing this with other people that might need that encouragement. And that's what worked for me, okay? So today it's built, it's all over the world, it's huge, I pinch myself what I get to do every day. I get to speak in front of at least 250,000 people a year, face to face. 250,000 people a year. I'm traveling in 9 days. I speak in front of 36,000 people. 18,000 people in O2 Arena for 3 days, and then we take a 2-day break, and then 18,000 people again for 3 days. And then 2 weeks after that, I speak to 40,000 people in the month of June up in Salt Lake City. 40,000 people at one crack. It's amazing what's happened through that experience. Now, how does this all apply to you? Here's what I would say to you. My passion is network marketing. My interest is network marketing, entrepreneurship, solopreneurship, people taking charge of their lives, people facing their fears, this journey of personal growth, that all of that stuff that is encompassed inside of network marketing. But your passion, I would encourage you to do something right now, every single one of you. And maybe if you're commenting inside of this platform below, tell me what your interests are, something that you're passionate about. Post your passion. It could be fashion. It could be shoes. It could be watches. It could be tennis. It could be Liverpool football. It could be, I asked this question in a group, and a person said mushroom hunting. I didn't know mushroom hunting was a thing, but it's a big thing. If you ask a big crowd, you're going to find out that there's like 15% of the room that are super into mushroom hunting. So people are saying dog rescue, cooking, kids, coffee, ocean waves and tennis, farming, travel, horses, skiing, okay? So make a list of like 3 or 4 or 5 things, okay? This is my strongest advice to you. This is the easiest way I know to never run out of people to talk to ever for the rest of your life, have a huge community, have a lot of fun, make a big difference in the world, in addition and on top of your network marketing business, okay? So make a list of these 3 or 5 things. Pick 1 or 2 of those that resonate the most with you, and then get really specific. If you're really into coffee, what kind of coffee? If you're really into golf, what kind of golf, or what age group of golf, or what category of golf, what area of golf? If it's fitness, what kind of fitness? And get specific. You know, I watch these commercials that are talking about like goat yoga, you know, people are doing yoga with goats on their backs and stuff. If your interest was goat yoga, it's much better than just yoga. If you just do yoga, it's too general. But if it's goat yoga, every goat yoga person, I don't even know if that's a real thing. Is that a real thing? It's a real thing? If it's goat yoga, every goat yoga person in the world is going to find your page. Everybody. They're all going to find your page. If age-defying makeup tips, bodybuilding fitness, what kind of bodybuilding fitness? Get specific on what kind. Aging well, what does that mean? Get specific. Find a niche and then own it. Bring more value in that niche than anybody in the world, okay? Every one of you watching can do this. Every one of you. Get specific. I was just at a training in Fort Lauderdale 3 days ago. And I went through this exercise, and a lady, I'm guessing she was 55 years old, I'm guessing. And she was a big USC fan, USC football team. And I said, she could be the ultimate USC superfan. And that could be her thing. And she's like, oh, I love that. And think about what you could do inside of your category. Could you not join every other group in the world that is connected with your interest? That's number 1. Could you collect and curate tips, strategies, ideas that validate, encourage, inspire, and educate this group about whatever it is you're passionate about? And every day put some comment about that. If it's world travel, where world travel, get as specifically as you can. And then every day, could you come up with a world travel tip, a world travel idea, a world travel story? One guy talked about hiking. What kind of hiking? Where? And then, do you have a hiking story? He said, well, I almost died once in the Grand Canyon because I ran out of water. I said, that's a good story. Do a live about that. Think about who could you interview on your topic. If it's goat yoga, who's the top goat yoga instructors in the world? Billy. Very quick. And Annie? And Nanny. Nanny. So who are the top goat yoga instructors in the world? Could you interview them? Could you get on live with them? What's the best goat yoga apparel to wear? What's the best places you can go to find goat yoga in your city? Who are the people who are having the best success with goat yoga when it comes to practitioners of it? You know what I mean? It's never ending where you could go with that, whether it's world travel or you pick it. Own that thing. It could be a sports team. It could be Liverpool. You could absolutely own the Liverpool space if you wanted to. And within a year, be a correspondent on the sidelines. Within a year. If you become the super fan and you bring real value to that community, it's easy. And now think about how you find prospects. It's nothing, because all you're doing is bringing value. Bringing value to that community, you'll naturally attract them. Now, if you have 2 or 3 and if they blend, then do that. If you want to become known as the person who crushes this, you know, the ultimate mushroom hunter, you could put the ultimate mushroom hunter up on your cover page with a big mushroom in your hand, right? And a bandana, you know, and like camouflage stuff with mushrooms all over. Couldn't you? Think about the mushroom hunting community. They'd be pumped over that. They'd be like, oh, I found the ultimate, you know, if it's not crocodile hunter, it's the mushroom hunter, you know? You have fun.
Do you need camo for mushrooms?
You might. Mushroom camo.
Don't be a next outfit on stage, Eric.
Helping women overcome a mess, you know, whatever it happens to be. Your family, what about your family? Like, think about, you're like, well, I don't know if I have anything. Do you want to be a cool mom? What if you created, your brand was about being a cool mom? And here's tips on how to be a cool mom. You want to be a good aunt or a good uncle? Here's tips and strategies on how to be an incredible uncle. How to be a proactive grandparent. Whatever it happens to be, pick it. Own it. Own it. Crush it. If you own it, here's what's going to happen out of it. You're going to meet everybody there is in that space. You're going to connect with everybody there is in that space. Anybody who's part of it is going to follow you, especially as specific as you can get it. Ultimately, you'll probably end up writing a book about that topic with your community, which everybody will buy. I'm just telling you, it's the easiest way in the world. Find a passion, devote yourself to that passion, connect with people who have like passions. They'll come to you, and occasionally you can talk to them about your network marketing business, which will be the easiest thing in the world because you're going to be connecting with people, okay? You're already going to be bringing value to people. I did it with network marketing. Some people have watched what I did and said, well, I'm going to do it about network marketing too. I think that's a mistake. It's a little too close. I think if I was recruiting, I would find a passion and I would base my community build around that passion, because I think I would get a much more organic, solid prospecting group around that passion by doing that. So that's, I'll give you a couple other tips. Consistency is critical. I see too many people throw out 3 videos and then they stop, 2 posts and then they stop. They do things, you know, once a week for 7 weeks and then they stop. We got almost 0 traction for a year. Almost nothing. Our first event that we hosted was 200 people. And that was a year and a half in, 200 people. And, you know, today we have over 10,000 show up every year. But it started with 200 and took the whole time to be able to do it. Everything big starts small. So be okay starting small, be patient, and be consistent. What Bob talked about, I think, is so strong, which is have it be about them, have it be about your contribution, have it be about bringing value, even if it's just value for yourself. And authenticity, we've heard over and over and over, be true. One of the videos that I did, and I talked about it on one of you guys' lives, is I was in Las Vegas before we moved here, and I'd done 10 back-to-back meetings over the course of one day in this suite, and I was exhausted. And I'd promised I was gonna do a video. So I set up my flip cam, I turned it on, I walked around to the other side of the table, I looked at the camera, and I literally had nothing in my head. Nothing. And I went, I got nothing. I got nothing today. See you, everybody. And I went around and I turned off the camera. I said, you know what? I'm going to post that. So I posted it. And it was the I got nothing video. And everybody was just like, oh my God, me too. You know, I don't have anything either. This is amazing. You're a real person. This is awesome. And another one when I was traveling like 40 hours straight, and then I missed a flight, and I was supposed to go to Australia, and I had to get stuck in this miserable hotel in Los Angeles, and stubble all over my face, and worn out and tired. And the content that time was, some days it's just work. Some days what we do is just work. And showing that part of my life, right? So consistency is big. It's really important. Decide that you're going to give to your community, and once you're consistent, the whole world will come find you. All right? So those are a few tips and strategies for me. Every single one of you can find a passion and build a huge following around it effortlessly. But the trick, I'll say once again, get as specific as you can. Get as specific as you can. Instead of yoga, go yoga. Instead of golf tips for people, you know, teenage golfers, or golf tips for people over 70, or golf tips for people who live in South America, whatever. Get as specific as you can get it, and you will attract more people more naturally than you could imagine. Okay? So, I've gone for a bit. I know that inside of this group, there's some people who can talk about how to attract more followers and friends and fans. We'll start with Ray. Grab a mic, whichever one you're supposed to grab. Is that the one?
I don't know.
Black one? All right.
Yeah.
Ray Higdon, your thoughts.
All right, cool. So yeah, agree with everything. I mean, it's great information on marketing. And you know, the first time I ever spoke on an Eric Worre stage was defining, I don't know if you remember this, defining the difference between marketing and prospecting. And so very much like Eric, when I first started marketing, when we first started marketing, we really didn't get much traction for probably a good 6-7 months. And so I was doing a video every single day, pumping it out there, trying to add value, trying to educate, trying to, you know, help people solve some problems, and just wasn't getting leads, wasn't getting any kind of signups or anything like that. And so I knew that eventually it would turn the corner, and eventually we would start getting some results. But in the meantime, I need to make money, because at that point in my life, I'm in personal foreclosure, I'm dead broke, I've got completely wiped out by the real estate market, and I needed to make money. I couldn't wait for my marketing to work. And so first thing I ever taught on Eric's stage was the difference between marketing and prospecting. So I view marketing as passive. You're doing something you hope an unnamed individual reacts or responds to. So that could be a flyer, could be a YouTube, could be a podcast, could be a status update, a Facebook Live, whatever. You're doing something you hope someone reacts to it. Prospecting is active, that you can control. That's you reaching out to an individual. So I had read a book called Go for No, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do a video every day, and I'm going to go for 20 no's every day. And Eric interviewed me, I think back in 2011 about that. And so every day I'm prospecting, going after 20 no's a day, and every day I'm doing a video every day. Now, a lot of times I hear people that they learn about marketing and like, wow, this is, man, I could talk about goat yoga and you build my business. This is awesome. And so they'll you know, maybe start doing marketing, but they stop prospecting, or they never even start prospecting. And eventually you got to make some money. You got to get some results. You got to get some people that are going to join as customers, et cetera. And I see a lot of people that quit too early. And they start their marketing, they got big goals, but they just quit too early. And so my suggestion to you is, if you're just starting your marketing journey, or you're not getting results from your marketing, then you need to continue prospecting and continue reaching out and getting eyeballs on the presentation. When people tell me, man, I want to be a top earner in my company, I'll know real fast. I'll just say, okay, how many eyeballs did you get on the presentation last week? And if they prospected in single digits, then they're not really on the path to top earner. So that means if they prospected 0 to 9 people in the week before and they didn't have enough leads that would get them over that hump, then they're not really on the path to top earner, in my opinion. But they need to step that up, and you need to realize that marketing will work if done consistently and done over time. Sometimes it takes you a year, sometimes it takes you 6 to 7 months. In the meantime, you need to make some money. There's a quote that I've once I heard it, I kind of grabbed onto it, and that's from Steve Martin, and that's "Be so good they can't ignore you." And I just really love that quote. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to create a daily method of operation that will make success inevitable. If anybody goes out there and gets 20 no's a day and does a video a day, I think success is inevitable. You will get better at it. You will improve. You will start to attract people, and you can make it happen. And so hope that was helpful to you. I know there's some other awesome people in here I'd like to add.
We're going to bring Angel up. Okay. Thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
Angel, how do you get more people connected to you? How do you do it?
I go be me everywhere. Literally, I go be me. I scroll Facebook. I look at public profiles. Guys, I'm a new grandma. I have a 1-year-old granddaughter. And when my granddaughter was born, I had thousands of people comment and tell me congratulations. And it taught me a lesson. And that lesson was anytime you bring life or happiness or you compliment someone, they want to be connected to you. So you can do it many ways. You can go into communities, go into group pages. Eric was talking about finding your niche. What's your goal? What's your thing? Well, I have lots of them. And if you can't figure out what it is, let me give you one that's easy. About, I don't know how many billions of people are on the planet, but the majority of them watch TV. They do. I'm not one of them. I'm an anomaly when it comes to that. But the majority of the planet watches TV. So figure out what TV shows you like. Then go find people. There are group pages, hundreds of them. Sons of Anarchy has like 7.2 thousand group pages. Go find the people that you have in common with. It's a very basic place. And then have conversations with them. And I'm going to tell you, when you're doing this and you're going after groups, don't always think the bigger the community, the better the opportunity, because it's not always the case. I like smaller ones that are warm and friendly and fuzzy. But when you guys are out there doing this, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a little tip. Who do you want to attract? Put yourself to the test. Go take a look at your Facebook. Go take a look at the past 60 days of posts that you've made. Have they been negative? Have they been positive? The ones that are negative and they have all these comments, that's not a good thing. You see, I'm in the empowering business. I want to build people up. I want to lift people up. I don't want to be surrounded by people that only comment when I post something negative. So pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to how you're doing it. Ask yourself, if all of these people on this particular post came into my business, how functional would it be? Because I'm going to tell you, I look at some of these negative posts out there. I don't want any of them in my business. I don't want them in my life. I don't want them in my world. So be careful of how you're presenting yourself when you're out there attracting people. A negative post that has 7.2 million comments on it isn't as valuable as a post that has 13 positive. So pay attention to that realm when you're out there and you're looking around, and go bring light into someone's life. Go into a group page where people are sad. There's lots of them out there. Go be happy. Go bring positiveness. Go comment on grandmas. Scroll Facebook and find out who has new grandchildren or new babies or new weddings or birthdays, and then just go be happy with someone. They will be attracted to you. And that's just the basic 101. Go be a good human and love on people, and they'll come beating at you, because the world needs more of those.
Yay. Nice work. What up?
Okay, so I just want to give you guys a little bit more in terms of a strategy on how to do stuff. But before we do that, I'm just going to use the marker if that's okay. I want to make sure we get this in the comments. I think we need to start that hashtag of goat yoga. So let's definitely make that a thing from now on. But I just want to talk about how you can actually leverage Facebook groups, because one of the things that has been mentioned is social media for me is a place where you can scale and leverage fast, okay? It's not a place where you speak to one person at once, where you're having one conversation, where you're doing one thing, you're speaking to one person at a time. It should be many people very, very rapidly. That's the whole point of that. And I just see a few people dropping in now with the hashtag GoatYoga, which I love. So keep that up on the chat. So how can we do this with a Facebook group, guys? So, well, let's just use the example of Goat Yoga, right? We're going to go with Goat Yoga. It's a thing now. When we join the group, we don't just want to join the group and then it be a thing where we're having a conversation, right? Somebody brings something up, right? Let's focus on a product, and then you're thinking, okay, someone's spoken about Goat Yoga, so right, let's find that post, and then I'm going to comment, and then I'm going to try and take it into the inbox, and hopefully I might be able to sell the products, right? It's very, very, very slow. So instead, we want to be thinking about influence. So when you go to a group, the first thing you want to do is figure out who are your admins and who are your moderators and who are the most popular people, okay? Because once you figure that stuff out, what you can do is have a fast track to success, because you can actually go and find these people. And so when you're talking about stuff, rather than just trying to put in one piece of content and hoping for the best, instead, spend the first few days in the group, connecting with all the admins, connecting with the moderators, engaging on their content. And what happens when you're engaging on their content, think of it like this when you was at school, right? If you was just a normal kid and you're trying to, I don't know, become like a school president or like join the school council, something like that, you're probably not going to have a lot of success, right? Not many people are going to care. But as soon as you become friends with the coolest kid in school, well, guess what? All of a sudden your influence just goes bang, right? You're super influential straight away. So then you try to have some success and become a school president. Everyone's like, yeah, you're one of the cool kids, of course, like go for it. So we want to create this in a Facebook group as well. So make sure, for example, with a Facebook group, because nobody does this, drop a message to the admin and say, hey, your group is awesome. Like, thanks, buddy. Like, I really appreciate what you're doing, the value you're putting out there. And what happens is that admin of that group's going to go, I like you. You're a nice person. And so when you post, guess what they're going to do? They're going to engage on your post. They're going to like it. They're going to comment on it. They're probably going to talk to you a little bit. What happens to everyone else in that group? Well, all of a sudden, every single person in that group, they're going to go, hey, the admin likes this guy. He must be all right. So they're going to engage as well. And this is what happens when we're talking about scaling and leverage with social media. Rather than me, one at a time, trying to comment, engage, bring somebody out of the group into my messenger, I'm posting content. I'm giving value, which is what Eric and which is what Ray have been sharing about. But I've got 10, 20 people coming over onto my wall. They're then messaging me. They're then wanting to be my friend. And it's allowing me to have a lot more people join my world very quickly. It's a balance between marketing and prospecting, but it's a very active way to build very rapidly your following. And here's something else that you can do really cool with groups as well. You've got awesome search facilities. So if I wanted to find somebody that did goat yoga, well, I can go and search goat yoga. I can go and find the post. I can then go and comment on those posts. I can then add value onto those posts as well. And here's the other thing to think about. Sometimes people might not call it goat yoga. They might have another word for it. Or let's talk about, let's try and get off goat yoga. Let's say it's a product instead, right? And your product helps with energy. Well, rather than always searching for energy, perhaps people in that group, they don't talk about it like that. They might use words like fatigue or feeling tired or low mood. Well, you don't know. You can't predict. You don't know for sure what it is that they're trying to say. So examples of what you can actually do, which is pretty cool, you can use is in the search. You can just put the beginnings of sentence, beginning of a sentence. So I am feeling, I struggle with, right? And what's going to happen are those sentences coming up with then the words, right? So all of a sudden you've got, I struggle with tiredness. I struggle with low mood, but you've been searching for energy, right? People aren't looking for that. It's just another way for you to go and find people very actively. You can then give very specific value and content around those points, which then pulls over a lot of people very rapidly into your world. Hopefully that helps. Thanks, man.
And while while I was off camera, I went to Jeff Beebe. He said, goat yoga is not really a thing. And I grabbed his phone and I typed goat yoga into the Facebook bar, the search bar, and just search goat yoga in Facebook. You'll see. You'll see. It's a real thing.
They have puppy yoga too.
They have puppy yoga? Oh my God. So you can do puppy yoga. All right, if you're getting value so far, I hope you are. We have one more presenter before we take our next break. You're going to love her. She's going to teach you how to get more people to follow you, use some really great strategies to be able to do it. She's a social media rock star. You're trying to figure out her microphone, make it all work. Please welcome Rachel Jackson. Rachel.
Hi, thank you.
Get it, sister.
Woohoo! All right, guys. Well, I'm really excited to be here. I'm like so nervous. I'm shaking. But guys, I'm so in love with social media. In fact, I was telling Eric that a few years ago, I think I realized that if social media had never come around, I'm not even sure I'd still be in this industry. I finally found the right platform that was authentic for me as an introvert. Can I get drop a little one in the comments if you guys are introverts out there? I know we have a few out here in the crowd as well. It's perfect because we can all, reach a ton of people, but we can do it comfortably from our own homes. So I want to share with you guys a little bit about fan pages. I got some notes here. I want to talk higher level strategy. Now, I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. Some of you guys, this may seem a bit overwhelming. You might not be ready for this. If you're not yet at that level that you're like, okay, I'm wanting to scale, maybe even to advertising or investing more into my business, don't worry, you're going to get there soon. This will make sense for you at some point. Everyone, you just got to start where you're at with what you have, okay? But I want to really mention something. I want to go back to what Danny just shared. He talked about two words that are like a marketer's just love points, which is scaling and leverage. And I think that I get a lot of questions when I talk about Facebook marketing, like, okay, when do I start a fan page or when do I start a business page? And I want you guys to know that there are I'm going to move this up actually a little bit over here. There are two major ways that you can create a platform on Facebook, okay? I'll use blue. You guys having fun so far? You getting a lot of good stuff? So you have like your major, your profile. And what do we know about the profile? Is that you can have up to 5,000 friends. And what the profile is, there's a lot of wonderful benefits. I mean, the fact that it actually has a better algorithm, meaning that Facebook is structured to show profiles a little bit more. They're even getting a little bit more deeper into that. This is where you connect, you build a little bit better relationships. You can see your mom, your daughter, your cousins, but it has its own limitations. One of the biggest ones being it caps you at 5,000. The other thing as a marketer, if we're a network marketer and we're marketing to a network, there's one thing that a profile does not have that a page has. You probably guessed it. It's the ability to scale. And the ability to scale through advertising, that's the only way to really go. So if you're only building on a profile, you're only posting, you're only giving value on a profile, if this is your only focus on Facebook, you're basically waiting for like the Zuckerberg lottery to put your stuff on the newsfeed. It's like, it's a hope and a prayer. And I feel like if you're going to be a part-time, spare time, like kind of sorta network marketer, like, okay, I'm just going to kind of play on social media a little bit. Yeah, you can leave it up to chance. You can leave it up to hope. You can leave it up to prayer. But if you really want to go to the next level, at some point, I think a page is really where it's at. So about 8 years ago, I started my fan page, and over the last 8 years, through organic viral reach, and then through very strategic low-cost ads, I've been able to build up over 227,000 followers on my fan page and about 25,000 organic followers on the profile. So I want to talk about this page for once. So when we think about fan pages, and we think about even social media, guys, social media is just the way to garnish attention. It's just the way to get attention. So a lot of people are skeptical, but I'm like, okay, 20 years ago, network marketers, they did a newspaper ad. So what's the difference today? Like, run an ad. So the question is, when do I start the page? The answer is now. I really believe it. I really believe that the answer is now. I don't think you should wait till you're at 5,000. I don't think that you need to be completely replicated or duplicates of each other. I think there's ways that you can do both effectively, but I want to share with you guys just a few strategies that have really worked for me. So one of the biggest ones I do on my fan page is I schedule my posts. So I typically do once a week or so. And so I usually do it on a Sunday. It takes me about an hour. This is something that as you have more income coming in, more profits in your business, you can actually outsource this to a virtual assistant. I still love having a bit of control over my messaging to my tribe, to my almost, quarter million people. And so I schedule my posts. So I make, little cute little quote cards or shareables that I know that I've learned that my audience really engages with. And guys, in this process, if you're like, okay, what do I post? One of the biggest things I can give you as far as a tip is go start following other really successful fan pages, pages that seem to have a lot of engagement, people that you really respect, other people that are doing what you want to do. And you don't need to copy them. Like, that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to plagiarize their posts, but I would definitely recommend hacking their posts, hacking their page. Look what they're doing. Look the type of stuff they're posting. So I schedule posts. I try to post at least 3 to 4 times a day. And what that'll be is it'll typically be, different quotes, different inspirational things. My fan page, they love things on self-care, I'm really open about my faith on my fan page. And so that sort of stuff really gets a lot of engagement. And I really study it. I look back the last, 28 days and I see what posts really got a lot of that feel. Now you can schedule the post so that saves you time. So this is 1 hour a week. No, I was just sitting with Todd Falcone and he was seeing me schedule some of the pages out. And he's like, where are you getting those posts? And I said, Pinterest. Like, that's a phenomenal thing. Like, just run over to Pinterest and you can type in like any sort of, quote or topic. If you're in health and wellness, maybe look up like crock pot recipes or maybe green smoothie posts, or there's all these cute little like things that designers and bloggers have already made. Just go rip off and repeat, or see something that you like and then create your own on your own app. But I schedule 3 to 4 posts on my fan page. Now, the biggest thing that I do from there is I'm literally trying to get attention. I'm trying to scale because this is like my personal page. I'm going to post on here at least once a day. I'm going to do lives on there as well. But I know that I can pay for reach. So I want to share with you guys I have 2 strategies. One is going to be an easy strategy and one's going to be more advanced because wherever you're at, I want you to get something here today. So the first easy strategy on your page, so let's call this is your business page, right? Is that you can now link, there's like a little button and it'll tell you to do it. You can link that page to a Facebook group. So if you have a group, and we're going to learn a lot more about groups over the next couple of hours, you've already gotten a couple of tips, is that if you have a specific group, whether it be for prospective customers or maybe prospective distributors or whatever it might be, you can now start creating your own little tribe. You can have this group, maybe it's your upline and you and your crossline all working together, and you have like a little bit of like a sneak peek group where people can come in, they can learn more about the business or whatever. So you can actually add them to the group. This is one very easy method to start to build your list. Here's the thing, guys, having a follower doesn't matter so much. Like, it's not about how many followers you have. It's not about how many people that are just liking your page. Like, likes are not always associated with dollars. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the attention off my page and then drive them into something that I own, something that I control, something that I have some sort of, and I find that I get a little bit more engagement with them in there where I can build the relationship, I can build the rapport, okay? You guys are getting this, right? Like, you can start a Facebook group, make it, if it's goat yoga or whatever, or maybe you're in essential oils, or maybe you're in weight loss, or maybe you're in travel, or whatever your product is. Create a group around that and then drive your prospects into it and then sprinkle in your opportunity. I know John Melton and many of our group experts like Angel Fletcher will share with you guys what to post in the groups. But this is one little thing. It's literally like this. And then maybe once a week on your fan page, have a strong CTA, a call to action to join that group. Can you guys do this? Pretty simple, right? Another really easy way is like when you're doing your different posts on your page, is you can have a call to action that drives people, this is another easy one, to like a woo-foo form. So I'm not like a big advocate of woo-foo, but what it is, I think it's like maybe 15, 20 bucks a month. And if for those of you guys who are technologically challenged, or you feel like, oh my God, I don't know how to build a website, I don't know how to start an email list, you haven't gotten to that level yet, you guys can sign up for Woofoo and you can create a survey or an application. Now, one thing that you can do is you can drive posts to that Woofoo form so people can apply to work with you or can apply for like a discovery call or an introduction call. And this is, I've done effectively to different forms like this. So if you feel like, you know what, RJ, I don't know how to create a website, I don't know how to build a sales funnel, it's really overwhelming, what do I drive traffic to? Very simple, drive it to a Woofoo form. Ultimately, again, guys, you're trying to get people off of Facebook, off of just being a suspect, and you're trying to create them into a lead. You're trying to get them to opt into something, whether a group, whether an email list, whether even just a simple Woofoo form. Pretty cool. I know it's so fantastic. I've seen a lot of really top leaders been using Woofoo, people that have all the money to go create a successful funnel, but it really duplicates well because it's cheap, it's affordable, it's easy to set up. I mean, it's really a no-brainer, very simple. Imagine getting one person a day filling out a Woofoo form to go work with you, and you're calling that person back and you're following up with them and you're texting them. That's what you can do. Now, more advanced that we're finding with Pages is that you can also connect it to something, this is more advanced, like a ManyChat or a chat bot. This is, again, more advanced, but it's been really exciting that you cannot get with your profile page. So a chat bot is, it's a really interesting technology. It's actually setting up an automated message system that when somebody goes on your page and maybe they want more info, or maybe they comment on a post, or they comment on a live, they could even say like one particular word like free book or lifestyle or social media or business or info. And what it'll do is it'll trigger the bot to send them a message on Messenger. Now, once you get that person to opt in to your ManyChat, they're now on your ManyChat list. Now, this is really exciting. I've been playing this with for about 6 weeks. I'm just over 1,000 leads generated on like literally a couple $100. Like, it was a phenomenal price. And I think we're still very new here, but this is another way that if you guys, again, you're not wanting to just get followers, but you're wanting to start a conversation. You're wanting to start opening up that little bit of communication from just a follower now to a prospect. And the last really more advanced form is going to be actually doing like advertising or posts that are boosted. So this is a way that I drive people to my ManyChat, to my group, to my, a funnel or an email list or a form, is through boosting a post. And this can start off so little. So many people think that advertising has to be like super expensive. And, I was talking with some of our leaders, a lot of them do advertising, some of them don't. And they get a lot of comments who are like, I don't have the money to advertise. I'm like, guys, you can start on $5 a day. $5 a day to build your business, $150 a month. Now, I realize I have been there. 7 years ago, my husband and I were bankrupt, foreclosed upon. We had $100,000 in debt and about $1,158 in our bank account. And so I know what it's like to be po, like can't even afford the OR. You're not poor, you're po. I have been there before. And so I get it. But here's the thing, you might want to make some personal sacrifices so you can start investing in your business. Like, what would it be if you actually spent $5 a day boosting a little post, running a little ad, trial and error, seeing if it works, trying to drive somebody to a little Woofoo form, a little website you create, or into a group, and seeing how it works. I did the math. Over a year, that's over $1,800 that you'd put into spending to get attention, to scale your business, to get in front of more people. And I was like, oh my gosh, $1,800. I typically will pay at the high end $2 a lead. So to take that, extrapolate that, like that's 900 leads over the next year. What would your business look like if you generated 900 leads? I'm not talking about 900 followers or 900 fans or 900 likes. I'm talking about people in your inbox, People with their phone number, people with their information that you're contacting, that you're nurturing, that you're following up, that you're texting, that you're getting on a call, moving them to a presentation or closing them. Do you guys get this? This is what I'm doing that's working so well. So the type of post, guys, just in closing, what do I advertise? The biggest thing, the best post that I've ever done, I do them over and over, I recycle them, is what I call the story post. And the story post is sexy, okay? This is really sexy. It is a very simple component that almost any of you guys can do. And basically, you're gonna wanna have a photo, and I usually say like, it's an aesthetically pleasing photo. Most of the photos that I've had are the best advertising little boosts, little $20 little boosts that I've done to my fan page have been me, on a beach, me on vacation, maybe even me hiking. We live in Arizona with all the mountains and the cactus around us. Me in front of the car. I bought a Range Rover in cash with a bonus that I got in my business. So like I share those type of stories. You might not have that yet, but go take some beautiful photos, or when you're on vacation, do the photo shoot that Eric was talking about earlier. Take those 3,000 photos, my poor husband. He's like my professional photographer. But you know what? Those branding images, they work, they attract. So be visually appealing. And then what you want to do is you want to create your story in the post. And the story is really about the pain, the problem, where you were before. Like, what was the pain in your life? What was the pain? What were you going through? Were you like me? Were you bankrupt? Were you almost homeless? Were you foreclosed upon? Were you a failed networker like I was for my first pretty much 4.5 years in the industry? I was a not-for-profit MLM. I don't know if you guys have ran one of those before, but my first 4.5 years was a not-for-profit network marketing business. And so I shared that pain. Now, the next thing is you have to share like the decision. You made a decision. Everything changed that day that you decided to take action, decided to hire a mentor, decided to follow a system, decided to join a team, find the company. What was the decision that you made? And then again, a strong call to action. Now that call to action could drive people to a woo-foo, could drive people to a group, could drive people to an email list or a simple little sales funnel. But this little program, and it's usually long. It's usually 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs, beautifully done with emojis. But guys, I try this. Now I've ran so many of these and not all of them work. Not all of them work. Sometimes I'll put like $5 on 5 of them, so it's $25, and I see immediately that one is just going viral, like it's going just supercharging, and then I'll throw more money at it. But I really think, guys, that if you are neglecting a fan page, or if you've been apprehensive to doing a business page, don't wait till you're at 5,000 friends. This is the way that you're going to be able to scale. Drive people from your page into a Facebook group, nurture the relationship, and when you're ready to be a little bit more advanced, start running some ads, simple little ads that you can do, and that we will continue to teach you through all these amazing trainings that's going to garnish more people into. And it's worked, guys. It's absolutely worked. So I hope this really helps, and thank you so much. Back to you, Eric.
Well done, well done, well done. Excellent work. And let me comment for just a moment to everybody, because some people are going, woo-foo and chat bots and ManyChat and some email lists and what, this is, wow, this is a lot, right? First of all, let me just tell you that we're going to be, after this event is over, we're compiling all of this. We'll get you a whole workbook with notes and links and extra tips and strategies and more detail on these different things, number one. Number two, we've got 5 more hours that we're going to be talking about more clarification on this. So just keep the notes going, relax your mind, keep it open, don't freak out. I would also tell you that with my Network Marketing Pro experience, I just started and I figured it out. One of the ways that I boosted my confidence, and I was more confident in even growing a presence online, was to be willing to make mistakes in front of the world and handle it. And just deal with it. I screwed that up. Sorry. We messed that up. Okay, we'll figure it out. But I had to learn how to post. I had to learn how to use Final Cut in order to be able to make my little videos with my little open and close. Somebody they bought a $100 Final Cut Express software, loaded it onto my computer, and gave me a tutorial that I literally only learned how to do one thing, which is take the video that I shot for that day, put it in between, squeeze the front end and the back end together, and post that video. That's all I knew how to do. Learning, if you want to figure out Wufoo, which I've never heard of, try it and see what works and figure it out. You want to figure out ManyChat? Try it and figure it out. This social media is a trial and error thing. Here's what the message I want you to know before we go to break. Just know this. You have everything you need to figure this out without any additional help. You don't need to hire anybody. You could take these tips and these strategies. I'm not saying you don't need coaches from time to time. I'm just saying you don't need employees to be able to help you do this. If you just start with love in your heart and contribution on your mind, and you figure it out day by day, you improve day by day, you modify and adjust day by day, you're going to find a rhythm that works for you. And we have lots of strategies. In our next hour, we've got Fraser Brooks, we have Rob Sperry, and we have, who else? We have Brian Fryer. All three of those in our next hour. It's going to be amazing. We're going to give you a little bit longer on this break. We're going to give you 7 minutes to stretch and be ready for our next hour, okay? So 7 minutes, and we'll see you then.